Today, we're diving into the ancient concept of chakras, these supposed energy centers in our bodies. But we're going to look at them through a really unique lens, the eyes of a scientist who actually tried to measure what so many people believe is totally immeasurable.
All right, let's just get right into it. The big question is simple, but it's also incredibly profound. Is there some kind of hidden world of energy inside of you? For thousands of years, ancient traditions have insisted the answer is yes. But could it ever be proven with, modern science?
So, to really get a handle on this, we have to start with this core idea from ancient yoga, that we're way more than just our physical bodies. They talked about a subtle body, kind of like an energetic blueprint that exists right alongside our physical one. And the fuel for this whole system, it's something they called prana. You can think of it as the universal life force, this essential energy that flows through, well, everything. And for us, it's believed to enter our bodies primarily through the simple act of breathing. It's the spark of life itself.
Now, according to Tantra Yoga, our existence isn't just on one level. The idea is that we're actually operating across three interconnected bodies at all times. The physical body, which we all know, the astral body, which is the home of our emotions, and the causal body, the source of our deepest wisdom. They all work together to make us who we are.
So, if this subtle body is real, what does it actually look like? How does it function? Well, the ancient yogis didn't just guess. They created these unbelievably detailed maps of its components. Let's break down the key parts. At the very heart of this system are the 7 primary chakras. They're described as these spinning vortexes of energy, each one located at a major nerve center along the spine. They start down at the base with Muladhara, which is all about survival, and go all the way up to Sahasrara at the crown of the head, which is linked to our higher consciousness.
Okay, but how does that prana, that life force, actually get to the chakras? Through the nadis. Think of them like the wiring or the superhighways of the subtle body. Some texts say there are more than 72,000 of them. The most important one is the Sushumna, which is the main channel running right up the spine, with 2 others, Ida and Pingala, crisscrossing it.
And this brings us to the most mysterious part of the whole system, Kundalini. It's described as this incredible, dormant potential energy, a cosmic force, just coiled like a serpent at the base of the spine, in that first chakra, waiting. And awakening this energy, well, that's the ultimate goal of a lot of these practices.
But why? I mean, what's the point? Why would you want to activate these chakras and awaken this powerful energy? It's not just about getting some kind of special powers, though that's supposedly a side effect. The real goal is something much, much bigger.
At the end of the day, this whole practice is about spiritual evolution. The goal isn't just about becoming a better you. It's about transcending your individual self entirely and experiencing this state of unity with everything, a state of enlightenment they call samadhi or nirvana.
And look, this isn't some chaotic, random process. The path was laid out centuries ago in 8 very clear steps or disciplines. It all starts with ethics and how you live your life, then moves into physical postures and breath control, and it all leads up to these states of deep, intense concentration. It's a whole system designed to get your body and mind ready to handle that much energy safely.
Okay, this is where our story takes a really fascinating turn. For centuries, this stuff was strictly the territory of mystics and yogis. But then, in the 20th century, one man decided he was going to try and build a bridge between this ancient spiritual world and modern science. And that man was Dr. Hiroshi Motoyama.
And you can see the fundamental problem right away, can't you? The yogi's path is all internal, it's subjective, based on personal experience. The scientist's path is the opposite. It's external, objective, and it demands measurable data. For the longest time, these 2 paths to finding truth seemed like they could never, ever meet. But Dr. Motoyama was completely unique. I mean, this guy had a PhD, he was a rigorous trained scientist, but he was also a dedicated spiritual practitioner who said he had his own full-blown Kundalini awakening. He had 1 foot planted firmly in each world. He was the perfect person for the job.
His conviction wasn't just academic, it was deeply personal. He tells this incredible story about his mother. She was a very spiritual person but had 0 formal training in yoga. And she would describe seeing this very specific symbol near her heart. Years later, Motoyama is studying ancient Sanskrit, and it hits him. She had been perfectly describing the ancient traditional symbol for the anahata or heart chakra.
So all of this, his scientific training and his personal experiences, drove him to ask this radical question. If this energy system is real, shouldn't we be able to detect it somehow? Can we actually measure the immeasurable? And that's what led him to his groundbreaking experiments.
And the claims that came out of his work, they weren't small. I mean, listen to what this famous yoga master, Swami Satsinanda Saraswati, said about it. He said, Motoyama's work provided clear electrophysiological evidence for the entire system the yogis had been talking about for thousands of years. So, how on earth did he do it?
Well, you can't just go to a science supply store and buy a chakra meter, right? So he had to build his own equipment. He created the AMI machine, which measured electrical signals along acupuncture meridians, which he believed were the physical side of the nadis. And then, even crazier, he built the Chakra instrument, a super sensitive device designed to pick up tiny little energy fields, electrical, magnetic, even light, coming from the body right where the chakras are supposed to be.
And then he started to get these fascinating hits in the data. One of his first big findings was that people who had strong psychic abilities, like ESP, consistently had these weird energy readings, specifically imbalances in the meridians that are linked to digestion, which is the exact system governed by the Manipura chakra, the one ancient texts connect to powers like intuition.
But maybe the most mind-blowing result came from his chakra instrument. He hooked up a subject and measured the energy field around their heart, the Anahata chakra. Then he just asked them to concentrate on that spot. The machine registered a jaw-dropping 30-fold increase in high-frequency vibrations. That's hard data suggesting that just your thoughts can directly impact measurable physical energy.
Okay, let's just pause for a second. What are we supposed to make of all this? You've got a scientist claiming he's measured an ancient spiritual system. What are the implications here? What does it mean to build this kind of bridge to consciousness? What it all seems to point to is this pretty radical idea that these two worlds, the inner spiritual world and the outer physical world, they might not be separate at all. Motoyama's work suggests they could be two sides of the same coin, and that maybe, just maybe, the chakras are the interface between them.
And that leaves us with a truly massive question to think about. If our consciousness, our mind, can directly influence measurable energy fields, what does that really mean for the future of human potential? It forces you to wonder if the limits we think we have are even real at all.